There are many ways to describe Wiggle It Jiggleit, 2015 Harness Horse of the Year, World Champion, fan favorite, Gutsy pacing phenom, and now we can describe him as retired. Yes, Wiggle It Jiggleit, owned by George Teague Jr. and Teague Racing Partnership, has hung up his harness at the age of 9. He began racing at the age of 2 with 1 start and 1 win in 2014. But it was the next season when Wiggle It Jiggleit, trained by Clyde Francis in Harrington, Delaware, took the harness world by storm in his sophomore season, winning 22 of 26 races, including victories in the Progress Pace.
Nobody beats Wiggle It Jiggleit, Wiggle It Jiggleit in front.
The Meadowlands Pace.
Wiggle It Jiggleit, Team Teague win the Meadowlands Pace.
And the Little Brown Jug.
Wiggle It Jiggleit on the outside second. Can anybody catch him from the back? Coming home, lost for words. Wiggle It Jiggleit coming home, lost for words. Wiggle It Jiggleit, the final surge.
That year, he bankrolled almost $2.2 million, which made him the richest standardbred in all of North America for 2015. His accomplishments earned him several awards, including the United States Harness Horse of the Year. Then, as a 4-year-old, he continued to impress with $1.7 million in earnings, taking a lifetime best of 147-2. An injury at the end of 2016 forced him to take a leave from the racetrack for all of 2017 and all of 2018 and half of 2019. He had just 4 starts when he returned in 2019 and then 11 starts last season. But in his last race on August 17th, 2020, he came up with another injury, and the connections were pretty sure it was time for Wiggle It Jiggleit to transition from the racetrack to retirement after an incredible career with almost $4 million in earnings. Although his final go behind the starting gate was 8 months ago, it wasn't until just a few weeks ago when the official announcement of his retirement took place. Wiggle It Jiggleit was an important role at the gender reveal party for George's son and Wiggle It Jiggleit's driver, Montrell Teague, and his girlfriend, Elizabeth Murphy. He first revealed that Montrell and Elizabeth were having a boy. Then, on his other side was written, Happy Retirement.
Yeah, Montreal's idea. I ain't much of a retirement deal. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, it's just something that I don't feel comfortable with. So maybe it's just closing the door that I don't like to say that it's shut, but here's a shut. But I just don't feel about it. It's just my personal preference not to. You know what I mean? So, but when Montreal wanted to do that, when he said, I'd rather have a happy retirement on one side and the gender reveal, even though he didn't know it was a boy or girl on the other side. So, I thought it was cool.
I loved it.
It wasn't my idea, but it was a good idea.
In addition to all of his incredible accolades on the racetrack, as he paced into hearts everywhere, he was a crowd pleaser with his special appearances. He did a meet and greet during Little Brown Jug Week in Delaware, Ohio, as harness racing fanatics from all over the world waited in line to get a pic with Wiggle It Jiggleit. He also hosted Governor John Carney and Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall Long at the Teague Farm for a spin around the racetrack. And although the 4-legged Wonder Horse was not actually there in person at Legislative Hall in Dover, he was honored by both the Senate and the House of Representatives for his contributions to the sport and as an incredible first state athlete. Our sport has been so fortunate to have a horse like Wiggle It Jiggleit to cheer for and take us on an incredible ride. And it goes without saying that for Team Teague, The memories and the accomplishments of this equine will never be forgotten.
I'm sure Montreal will take them memories if he lives to be another 100 years old. You know, you don't have them kind of horses run through the barn every day. So, no, he's special to everybody, not only me, to people around in the racing industry. You know, I think a lot of us all grew up with hero horses back in the day. It's kind of something that misses out of the game today. You know, you had back stretches where people actually lived on the back stretch. You had 20,000 people coming in the grandstand. None of they have anymore. But now when you have rivalries like him and Always Be Mickey had, and him and Freaky Feet Pete, and him doing what he done from the 3 to the 4-year-old year, it's something that don't happen very often anymore. So maybe I'll get lucky and have another one somewhere down the line. You know what? I'm from Harrington, and he went in 49 there the way he done it by 15, 14 lengths. And really the way he done it, I still replay that one in my head. I mean, he was just that impressive. I mean, but I've got quite a few. Even some of his qualifiers, he's like, wow, horse qualified like that. I mean, I can remember the first one he qualified in 57. He come back and qualified at Chester the second time. And I know he was special. And he qualified in 54, last scored in 26 in the piece, but you don't see very often in the qualifier, just like it was a piece of cake. And then he come back his first start, he went in 51, first over at Poconos from, he left a little bit, stayed out to the quarter, was in an eighth of a mile, pulled right back out first over, brushed by him, and just crushed him a mile and 51. Only like maybe half of a second off the track record for geldings. So he's been impressive right from day one. That was his first start, right down from the Breeders' Crown where he came up with an injury.
From a flashy name to a pretty face to his dances in the winner circle to those white fuzzies he wore to race in, it was hard not to fall in love with Wiggle It Jiggleit. The athlete amazed us with each performance, and we all knew we were seeing something just so special.
As racehorse fans, we all like to see horse racing, and nothing no more fun than watching a horse with an iron mentality, no quit, you know, a little bit of charisma. He had charisma too. So, you know, I mean, here's a horse that could sit on the outside as well as he could sit to the end. Here's a horse that can lead a gate according to 25 seconds, yes, and to him, take it back according to 30 if he chose to. And, you know, he just done impressive things. I mean, he really come to work every time he showed up. He was an exceptional horse in more ways than one. Charisma. I mean, he was fun to be around in the barn. You know, he had his own personality. And everybody always said, what separates the ones I have from the good ones from the great ones? The character between the horses is almost second to none. They got their own personalities. They bring their own traits. And right away, if you can distinguish that, you can almost distinguish the one that's halfway got a chance to be great. And he definitely fit the description right from day one. Physically, everybody says, man, I thought he looked bigger on TV. He's not a huge horse, but he's put together well. He's a very easy keeper, and I think that's what really kept him down much as anything else, is trying to take the weight off of him, which was nearly impossible. You know, you're like me, man. You sniff a burger, I gain a few pounds. He sniff a can of grain, he just gained weight. It wasn't no taking it off. He was a fat person's nightmare, and he was that horse. He couldn't shed pounds. I don't care how much you starved him to death, and he liked to eat, so that was a little bit of an issue. But I don't know. I mean, you got to have him fit and trim, and that was always his biggest hurdle, was keeping the weight off to keep him that way. You could travel that horse 10, 12 hours a ship, and the first thing he would dive in the feed tub in a water bucket. He just adjusted well to everything. And that is one tool that horses like that there to get around as much as he did, they got to carry with them. Because, you know, you want them to eat well. You don't have to worry about that. Never worried about him not eating. Well, when you turn him off, you give him any time off, you never worried about him eating. If anything, you like myself, he overeating. Never get tired. You know what I mean? And he had the attitude of a horse that really was a champion horse. Everything about him, man, was just a little bit different than the other horses. So he definitely will be missed.
So the big question is, how is he adjusting to retirement? Because this is a horse who loves racing.
He likes the fold again story. They like competing more than they do anything else. But he's adjusted well out in the field with Western Ace and a riding horse and 2 little ponies. And he has a ball with the little ponies. They play all the time, so he's happy. He's loving it right now, so I don't think that's going to change. We'll be jogging on the track, and he'll be the only one you see looking up in the field. He'll be looking at us jog. Practically every time you go by, he'll be looking at everybody jog by. So no, he's got a Western Ace out with him. He don't look up at all, and this guy looks at everybody goes by. So I'm sure he misses it.
George Teague Jr. has trained and owned a slew of world champions. And when I asked where Wiggle It Jiggleit ranked on his list, well, his answer had no hesitation.
he's at the top of the list of all the great ones I have had. Yeah. I've been fortunate to have a couple good ones, a few great ones, but none no greater than him.
Thank you to this great horse for the memories and all he brought to our sport. From everyone at the Post Time Show and fans across the globe, we are wishing Wiggle It Jiggleit a wonderful life of retirement.